everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new, welcome. My name is Jessica, also known as Chicprofessor on Instagram, and I make videos on luxury goods, sustainable fashion, and workwear. Today's video is all about finding your personal style. I had someone ask me a question about this, and I realized that I just sort of assume that most people have found their style because I went on this style journey, which of course is not true. And it took me many years to really narrow down and figure out my personal style. And now that I have, I shop smarter, I shop more consciously, and I save a ton of money in the process. So I want to share just kind of my journey with you all, as well as the tips that I would recommend so that maybe you can get to that end destination a little bit faster than I did. So let's go ahead and get started. First step is to go to your closet, see what you already have that you love, and try a bunch of stuff on. Take those pieces that you know you're not gonna get rid of. There's something about them that you love, and likely one of the things that you love is how they make you feel. How do you feel when you wear them? Which pieces in your closet make you feel most confident? Those are your go-to. That is your kind of core of your wardrobe. There is something about that collection of pieces that really makes up your style. So the next thing you need to do is analyze those. Do those pieces have something in common? What is it? Do they have nothing in common? That could be really interesting as well, right? So analyze those choices that you have. Likely they do have something in common, whether it's a silhouette, a style, the way they flatter your body, if it is specific colors that look really good on you. All of those things are things we are going to get into in more detail in just a minute. A lot of people also suggest, once you have picked those outfits that you really like, taking some pictures of them. Sometimes it's easier to envision yourself in something rather than just looking at the pieces themselves. So whichever way that works best for you. I like to kind of take my items and group them together. That to me makes a more obvious connection, but some people will figure it out more based on photographs. And I do need to say, when I started documenting my outfits on Instagram, I began to analyze them quite a bit more and to find more commonalities. It was easier to see, but that was over a long period of time. If you go back through my Instagram, you can see quite a bit of style progression before I really got to the place that I am now. The next thing you need to analyze is your lifestyle. Your favorite pieces in your wardrobe might be things that you've only worn for special occasions, but they're your favorite because they have this sentimental connection to you. Those are probably not the pieces that you want to choose when trying to figure out your style. You want to pick something that really also fits within your lifestyle. A lot of times when people say your style, they assume that your style is one thing, that you are this, that you fit into this neat little box. Likely you are very multifaceted, everybody is. And so not only can your style be multifaceted, but so can your lifestyle. I absolutely love dressing up for work. I feel most confident in my work clothes, and I think I've developed a pretty killer work wardrobe. So that is what I tend to photograph and to show off on Instagram, because that's a style I've really cultivated and love. I don't wear my work clothes just around the house. I have home clothes and I have outside clothes. I will say that I have a lot of pieces in my work wardrobe that are versatile enough to also be classic pieces for the weekend, but I also just am in pajamas all the time at home. And I've also invested in some really nice pajamas and loungewear. So you can be a very multifaceted person. You could have this like big club life at night and then still have a really great work wardrobe. And there will be some similarities between those two things, but they don't have to be distinct. You don't have to just choose one that is your style. Figure out who you are, analyze your lifestyle, and then go back to step one and analyze the clothes that you think fit in with that lifestyle. Next step is to figure out what flatters you. A lot of times people like something, but they don't like it on them. So then when you put those things on your body, we tend to not be happy with the result because it's not the most flattering cut, silhouette, shape, color, whatever that's going to be for our body. When you start dressing for your body and less for the trends or things that you just gravitate towards and like, we tend to be much happier with the wardrobe that we create. So look at your body type. You can look at just kind of like the classic body types. You can also look through like the Kibbe body type scale. There's a lot of different body types out there. For me, I am, when not pregnant, I am generally between an hourglass and a pear shape or a triangle shaped body. I'm wider on the bottom than I am on the top, but I have a small waist. I like to highlight my waist. That makes me feel the best and it draws the eye, and I can make myself look more hourglass, which to me is the most flattering on my body. So I figured that out, and now when I dress, I can figure out how to put an outfit together that really highlights the way that I want to be highlighted. A lot of people would also say, oh, well, you dress for work though, so why are you wearing something that's really like figure hugging, I guess? And I'm not wearing something necessarily that's super tight or super revealing, whatever that's gonna be, but I am wearing something that highlights my shape and highlights my feminine body, and that's something that I find attractive. So figure out where you are comfort-wise with your body, what looks good on you, what do you want to show off, what do you maybe want to hide. That will definitely help you to identify your style as well. But figuring out what looks good on you is not just about your body type, it's also about your coloring. A lot of times people don't pay attention to coloring, and you can definitely figure out what kind of color palette you are as well. There are different seasons we tend to associate with different colors. I'm usually a winter, and I like cool toned pieces on me, like corals and like yellows. Like those are terrible colors on me, those don't really work. But something that's a little bit more cool toned, jewel tones look good on me, reds, burgundies, deep pinks like fuchsias, black, white, gray, navy, and those are the colors that I like the best. Those are the colors that I gravitate towards. So figure out your coloring as well as the most flattering silhouettes. A lot of times when you're searching for your style, people will ask you, well, how would people describe you? That can be a really daunting question. How would people describe your style? What adjectives are they associating with your style? I can say that for myself pretty confidently at this point, but that did take me a little while to figure out. There are a ton of quizzes out there that you can take, most of which I think are only okay, but I did find one that I like because it gives a bunch of different adjectives for each choice, and they're very distinct, but there is also some kind of overlap. So I think most people can probably find themselves fitting more towards one of the 5 different options. And for me, as soon as I look at this, it is very, very obvious. I think I was B's pretty much all the way through, but I really did like this quiz, and so I will leave that down below. So that next step would be to figure out some of those adjectives. Next up, let's talk about your shopping habits. How do you tend to shop? What do you tend to gravitate towards? I will tell you, I had some trouble shopping growing up, like shopping with friends, because I would gravitate towards something and people would be like, that looks like everything else you have in your closet. So then I would say, oh, well, let me just try something totally different. Guess which pieces never stayed in my closet for long? When I was trying something that was totally different and didn't at all feel like me. It's okay to keep going towards the same things because there's a reason that those are things that you love. We'll talk about how to get to statement pieces in a little bit, but finding that core, figuring that out when people are shopping and they say, oh my gosh, this is so you, there's a reason that they're saying that. What is that reason, right? These are all the pieces that you can put together to help you find your style. The next thing you need to figure out is, are you someone who likes to follow trends? Or do you lean more towards a more classic wardrobe that is going to stay relevant year after year? I personally, for sustainability reasons, as well as just the way I like to dress, I am all about the classic approach. I don't really love trends, but some people really want to be trendy, and that's totally fine. Once you find something that flatters you, you can figure out which trends might work for you and which won't. But if you are not worried about trends, then finding something that looks great on you and is classic enough to last year after year just means it will never go out of style. It will always look fashionable, and you will continue to get use out of that for potentially decades. Okay, so now you've kind of put together all of these different pieces. You've figured out if you're more classic, if you're more trendy, which pieces you like in your closet, which pieces you gravitate towards when you shop, what looks good on you. All those different pieces are really important. The next step is to go through and narrow those down and create a capsule wardrobe. Could you live off of just those pieces? If no, if there are definitely gaps in your wardrobe, then you can shop really smart by finding pieces that now work with this new style that you've kind of figured out, but also fill the gaps in your wardrobe. One of the ways to figure out how to fill those gaps is to start looking for inspiration, Pinterest, Instagram, save looks that maybe already have some of the pieces that you have or something similar, and then figure out if there's a commonality in a bunch of looks. Oh, I really want dark black skinny pants because all of these looks that I'm saving, so many of them have that, and that's something that I'm missing. Figuring that out can be really, really helpful. So once that core is really established and you have identified those gaps, you can start to figure out how to add statement pieces. I love a good statement piece. It will get generally less wear than other things, but not necessarily. And with statement pieces, I would try to stick towards pieces that are different from your style by only one factor. So it's not that the color and the silhouette and the subtlety of that piece is different. It's that one of those things is different. The material is different, the color is different, the silhouette is slightly different. Those are the kinds of things that you want to do. Push the boundary, pick something that adds a print, but it's in a silhouette that you know already looks good on you, and it's in a material that already looks good on you. Pick a color that you know should work for your coloring because you've done some research on that. You can hold that color up to you and like the way that it looks, but it's not a color that you actually have in your wardrobe. Great, add that. If you want to pick something that's in a different material, maybe you have a lot of classic trousers and you're ready to maybe try a leather pair. Great, right? These are the kinds of things that you can do to add a statement, to expand your style, but to stay true to that style and stay true to that core. The other way to really kind of jazz up your style is to add accessories, as long as you do so in a way that doesn't feel overwhelming, right? You want your clothes to speak for themselves and the accessories to enhance rather than take over your look. So that is it for this video. I hope that that was helpful and gave you some ideas about where to start if you are confused about your style, or you feel like your style is all over the place, or you think, hey, I have all these pieces that I really like, but I don't know how I would define them or categorize them into being a certain style. Hopefully this was helpful, and following these different steps will help you to shop more consciously, save some money, and really make sure that the pieces that you find are pieces that you could invest in really high quality, great ones, knowing that they will be helpful additions to your wardrobe. Hope you all have a wonderful day. If you have any questions, please leave them down below, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.